Namaste, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Shakti Vriddhi Podcasts. Today we have with us Shri Kaustav Nag. Kaustav Bhai needs an introduction. We have a lot of interesting topics to cover today. So without wasting too much time, we'll get into it. I'll just introduce Brother Prithviraj. Prithvi and I go way back in time. We were friends from school, and he is a Hindustani classical vocalist and teacher. He also teaches instruments like harmonium and tabla. Thank you to Kaustav Bhai and Prithvi Bhai for joining us today. So, Kaustav Bhai, let us just get into the first topic. Let's start with a bang as we intend to. Could you throw some light on the relationship between yoga and Tantra?
Okay. So this has been a very interesting topic for me since the day I started yoga because I always used to like yoga and I always used to read books of Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and all those people. Now, as I was, growing up and I like changed cities and states, slowly I came into Tantra. And uh, it may not be fair to say, but I started to see that people are more inclined towards Tantra rather than yoga. In a way, even though people respect yoga, they value Tantra more because people say that, Tantra works fast and Tantra is very dangerous, which makes it more elusive and intriguing as well. Uh, so that started it, and actually wanted to go into Tantra, but I met Shri Guru, and I got initiated into it after a long year wait, around 10 years, at least 10 years of wait. Now, what happened is later, slowly, when he started to teach me and all those things, then I realized that yoga and Tantra are sides of the same coin. So basically, if yoga is the mystical flute you hear in the Himalayas, tantra is just the drumbeat you hear in the cremation grounds. But both are music actually. So that is how it matches with each other. Now, another point. One of my very good friends from West Bengal, he is a practitioner as well. He said to me, if we notice, people always go by mantra, 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 and tantra. They never talk about meditation. However, all the mantras that were given by the rishis, it came only through meditation. Not a single mantra came through Tantra. All the mantras that we do in Tantra were attained by the seers that they saw in the astral fields and the higher dimensions. So, in a way, Tantra is like, mathematics in my experience. Because, for example, we have the Fibonacci series. Anywhere you go into the universe, it will match. The sequence and the algorithms, it will match. Yoga, on the other hand, is like language. You need language to express your mathematical skills, to do the calculations. Alpha, beta, gamma, a square, b square, everything comes from alphabets, English. That is how both are contemporary of each other, and you cannot actually divide between the two. The problem that people started to dismiss yoga slowly was because when people started to focus only on yoga sadhana, in the sense the yoga asana, they were doing postures but no meditation, and they would, and like government right now gives certificates. I personally hate that because you cannot certify spirituality at all. And So people who do yoga asana, they start up a school. They will give you goat yoga, they will give you hot yoga, they will give you beach yoga, bikini yoga, all yoga. None of them will ask you to do meditation. None of them will talk to you about this Rishi Patanjali's systems. Nobody will talk to you about Kundalini. Even if they talk to you about Kundalini, they will mention, they will do a merely, like the CS 6 or 7 chakras, and it rises up, all quoting Sir Arthur Avalon, nothing more. The point here is, if you delve deep into Tantra, okay, for example, if you go into text like, Kula Nirvana Tantra, Gautamya Tantra, Mahanirvana Tantra, all these things, these texts, they will actually speak to you about yoga. Another point to be that is to be kept here, Shiva, he is never known as an Adi Tantric. He is known as Adi Yogi. because yoga is what joins everything, and tantra is one of the specific methods of doing it. Another thing, if you see, they are not panthis. They are not nath tantrics. They are nath yogis. Shri Yogi Matsyendranath, Gorakshanath, all were yogis. Nobody till date has a name of tantric in their name. In the neo culture, you will find various tantrics and stories and all those things. But yoga is the prime basis of it all. Uh, Another thing that if you go through the tantric books, there is a quote actually you find, that is satyam satyam punah satyam 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 mayochyate bina agamotto vidhanena kaulo nasti gati priye. So Shiva here tells Devi Parvati that I am telling you the truth, and I'm telling you the truth, that in the Kali Yuga, without agamic traditions, you will not get any progress. There is no gati, there is no movement. So, yoga also follows agam to its heart, and that is how it mixes. Now, what happened is, people, if you notice, when they talk about the Ishta Devta, okay, they will only praise their Ishta Devta and nobody else. In a way, if you notice, if you are doing pure Vamachara, or you first learn Shaivachara and then you go into pure Vamachara, you will not be allowed to touch Tulsi in certain texts. So it does not mean that Tulsi is bad. Tulsi is, of course, one of the most holiest things that we Hindus have. However, if a person has been brought up in strict Shaivachara, they will not give importance to Tulsi. The same thing happened with Tantra. People did so much Tantra texts, and people could not reach that level needed to, understand yoga. And that is why yoga got undermined. For example, uh, there in Tantra texts also, there are, classes of sadhana, that is Vedachara, Vaishnavachara, all these things. So after you cross Dakshinachara, you come into Vamachara, then you come into Siddhantachara. Siddhantachara means you align with the principles. You keep a principle of your sadhana, and then you make up your life around it. That is why in Siddhantachara, you can actually see the definition as Aghorachara plus Yogachara is equal to Siddhantachara. So after doing Vedachara, if you are crossing so many stages and coming into yoga, how can yoga be different from Tantra? Because Aghori is, of course, Tantra, high quality Tantra. So that is how it is related. Again, if you go into deeper stuff, okay, one thing I would like to say, after Siddhantachara and Yogachara, there comes Kolachara. So Kola is the best. There is no doubt about it. Aghora and this Yogachara, we are the second best. The second, second last stage before entering into Kola Marga. Now comes the Abhishekas. In Tantra, we go by Shaktabhishek, Rajyabhishek, Samrajyabhishek, Samrajyadikshabhishek, Purnabhishek, and all those things. Similarly, there's a text known as Sharamnya Maharatna or Sharamnya Tantra. It means the six mukhas of Shiva. It gave out all those paths. Based on that, there is a text. In that, there are two divisions of Diksha. That is Shaktya Diksha and one is Shambhavi Diksha. So, in a way, Shaktya Dikshas like the Purnabhishek, Samrajya Diksha, Abhishek, and all those things, they always walk parallel with Shambhavi Diksha, that is yoga. Now, the point is, uh, people say, for example, I have not done, I've actually visited to do a few japas in cremation grounds at times, because with the permission of my mentor and guru. Uh, but the thing is, people are like, oh, you're into yoga. How can you enter into samshan? Or I generally follow the principles of Shavachara and Shaktachara. So I generally, do not align with the Vishnu temples properly because of the marga and all. So people are like, okay, so you don't follow Vishnu, but Vishnu taught in Bhagavad Gita Karma Yoga. Then how are you a yogi? So these kind of questions come up, and that is where I was also confused that what is actually the thing. So by the grace of Guru and all those things, now what I know is, both are parallel. For example, I will give you the 10 types of diksha that you have in yoga, which are parallel with tantra diksha. So the first one is smriti diksha. In smriti diksha in yoga, the guru will call you to himself. He will make you introduce yourself, and he will analyze all your mala. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Where in your koshas you have some problems, he will analyze it. So it I first met Shri Guru that way only. He asked like, okay, fine, come and meet me. Then there is Manasi Diksha. In Manasi Diksha, he will ask you to, he will make you sit beside him, and he will do meditation, and he will pass on the transmission onto you. In that way, he is forcibly cleaning all your koshas for a start. He is giving a jump start. That is how they do in Shakti Diksha. They like give you a jump start, they give you the license to start with all the mantra practice. Then comes the Yoga Diksha. That is where you become Purnabhishek. Okay. In Yoga Diksha, the Guru, they will touch you physically on your forehead generally. It is also known as Sparsha Diksha. They will touch you physically on the forehead, and they will the Guru will enter your Prana Kosha, and they will give you some mantra or transmit a part of of their consciousness into you, because they're always enlightened. So that is how you start your growth. They will put the seed inside your consciousness. After that, there comes Vachi Diksha. The Guru will say, I guess this mantra is good for you. Start doing it. Other than that, there also comes Mantra Diksha in yoga, because there is Mantra Yoga as well. I will come to that. So in Mantra Diksha, the Guru will analyze a lot of things. Analysis in the sense is, like Rajeshi sir, Ramchandra sir, everybody, all of them say that you cannot pick up random mantras. You can find various references in various ancient texts. And Shri Guru actually taught this to me. Like, for example, there are nakshatras and this tithis and karanas. You need to understand astrology basically for it very properly, based on which the mantra that is given to you or the time you are being initiated will impact. For example, in Jeshta and Bharani nakshatra, you're never given a diksha. If a person is given diksha on a Bharani nakshatra, they will die. They will like rot and die very soon. Like very soon in the sense 1 or 2 years. However, there is exception. If somebody wants initiation into Shri Rama mantra, they can take diksha into Bharani in the Bharani nakshatra. That will work wonders. Other than that, the guru also analyzes. There are like Adi mantras and all those things, like whether the mantra will suit you or not, which kind of bijas, the classification genders of the mantras. Apart from that, what do you actually, intend to get from your sadhana? And when I'm saying mantras, it is parallel with the kriya also of yoga. So, for example, somebody has been born on Thursday, okay, and their Brihaspati is good. So, if that person, based on their astrology chart, is given their Diksha on a Thursday, that person will become very much, wise slowly. That will be the end goal. If the same Kriya or same Diksha is given during Friday, if they have got high placed Venus, they will earn lots of money. If they are given on Wednesday, they will have a lot of business influence. So that is how the Guru decides. Okay, so that is where the mantra thing comes in. After that, in Tantra, you get, after your Purnabhishek and Shaktabhishek, you get to learn about the homas, how to do homas. In yoga, parallelly, there is a Hotri Diksha. In Hotri Diksha, the Guru will himself do Homa on your behalf, or they will take you to some place. They will take or allow you to take Sankalpa on their behalf, and you will be a participant as a Yajman for the Homa. So it is parallel. It is like, parallel. After comes that Shastriya Diksha. In Tantra, generally you are said that I'm giving you the mantra, do it. Yoga differs a bit from here. Once in a while or regularly, the Guru will explain to you all your doubts in yoga. Whatever Shastric doubts you have, whatever mantric doubts, whatever you have, the guru will keep on explaining to you. So that these are the kind of dikshas that parallel with yoga and tantra. Therefore, in a way, holistically, yoga and tantra are not different. Other than that, if you also see, uh, yoga is what it means basically is huge, right? Adding of stuff. Tantra is like, making an incision or going very, very, very specific. For example, uh, Tantra would say to you, for example, do abhishek of Shivalinga with water. Yoga will say, do a visualization. Apart from doing abhishek, do a visualization in certain, okay, for example, when you do panchapatra stapana, like, you do achmana, right? So the technique for one of the techniques for achmana is, in the proper tantric style, you take the spoon, you do the mantras. When you take the achmana stick, you put it in the patra, and you make small waves while visualizing that you're doing the shodhana. In a way, you're doing a visualization. So now when yoga says that visualize something is happening to you, how is that different from this visualization? Makes sense, right? In another way, to put the things, yoga works on two things: ascent of Shakti and descent of Shakti. In one, you rise to make the Kundalini rise. In another one, you make the Shakti fall, like from here till your base of your spine. One of the meditation techniques for certain devis, not all devis, very Somya specific devis, and those who are listening, don't try it without permission of your guru. It is on a Purnima night, you sit properly anywhere on a chair or something, and then you close your eyes. You visualize, not imagine, visualize that from the left toe of the Devi, a stream of golden light is falling on your head and it is going inside your body. That is how you start the visualization where the Devi is directly blessing you. So, this is also visualization as well as meditation as per Tantra. In yoga, we say we are seeing the descent of light. So, there is actually no difference between yoga and Tantra. However, there are differences in the way it is done. For example, one is a F1 race car, one is a BMW. So you have to be more careful how you drive and where you are driving it basically. So yoga and tantra are not different, but just different sides of the same coin. Okay, what's next?
So, Kaustav, bhai, just to give context to all the
Mhm.
viewers, I'll be, of course, navigating through the various topics,
Yeah,
and
sure, sure, sure.
Prithvi would be asking more any pointed questions to bring
Mhm.
greater clarity to the point. It is interesting the way you described the visualization of some forms of Bhagavati, and you described it so well that we had to consciously put an effort not to visualize it. Prithvi, if you have any questions for Kaustav here, you
I,
may ask.
I have one question. See, when
Yes,
we
yes.
talk about visualization,
Mhm.
um, can you just briefly tell that what is difference between imagining and visualizing?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Okay, so imagination is basically wishful thinking. So, for example, uh, uh, when I'm visualizing, if I'm saying that, I am rich, I am like wealthy, I don't have 1 million rupees in my bank account right now, so I'm just wishing it. It's a wishful thinking. Visualizing is making yourself believe that you have it. You do not act actually, but you visualize it so strongly that you actually feel it is real, at least for that moment. So, Carl Jung has worked a lot, and Sigmund Freud also worked a lot on it. So, basically, the state where a human mind, it actually starts to impose its belief on the real. For example, in Vedanta, you will see that I forgot that thing. There is that, you see a rope, but you consider it as a snake,
Snake.
which is not a snake. So the same way, that is, you're visualizing, you're not imagining that point. There
Hmm.
was an experiment I read somewhere. So a person was said, he was a criminal, of course, he was sentenced to death, and he was said that his death would not be by hanging, it would be by a snake bite. So just moments before his punishment thing, he was shown a cobra, hissing cobra, and all those things, and he was blindfolded and he was given a vaccination. It had nothing. Now, the person was so afraid of the snake, he actually developed the symptoms, and he actually died out of fear, and there were symptoms in his body that he had died of poisoning. The point here is that is what he visualized, that he is going to be dying by a snake bite, whereas nothing had happened to him. So that is the difference between imagination and fear. So, in another word, is imagination is ideation, visualization is actualization. Means you with your subconscious mind and your trust and faith, you're knowing that it is happening. So that is what his visualization is. It takes some practice, but it happens. It's easy. There is another way to understand it. Have you guys heard of thought forms or tulpa? Okay.
I haven't.
I
Uh,
haven't.
okay. So in Buddhist Tantra, specifically the Vajrayana, they create thought forms or tulpa. So what they are is a person who is very good at meditation. They will manifest a thought form or a psychic being, and they will make bring it into the real life. It is not a ghost, it is not an entity or not a preta, but an entity. So like all thought forms, they go into the astral world, right? So when it goes into
Hmm.
the astral world, you are creating there. So you meditate so hard on it, you're actually creating a servant, an entity for you who will do all your bidding. So for example, telepathy. So in similarly in the Buddhism, they meditate so hard that they will create a small servant for them. And for example, if I want to connect with Anirudh and I don't want to call him, I will tell my entity to, like, go and tell him in his sleep that you
Hmm.
should connect with Kostov. That is what a tulpa is. Now the problem is, some modern people say that it's a psychological disorder. Yes, to an extent, it can cause a lot of disorder because you need to be very much, focused. Else you will lose your way and you will go haywire in that imagination. Because every time we think of a thought, it creates a sort of a karmic hook in our astral body. That is why in many yoga paramparas and tantra paramparas also, having a bad emotion or a bad thought or negative thought is also a bad karma. That is why Sri Ramana Maharshi always said manonasha. That is how it is linked, karma. And uh, in this Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna mentions about sthita prajna, because every time you are thinking something negative. For example, if you're playing a video game, you're actually not killing people, but you're having the intention. So you're actually creating a karmic push towards your astral thing, and it's getting hooked to you. That is why you do meditation. So that is how how meditation actually relieves you of the karmic thing slowly. Interestingly, japa almost always leads to meditation in the higher states. That is why yoga and tantra, again coming to the conclusion, are same.
That's a
Thanks.
Thank you for the answer,
Yeah.
Kaustav. So now that to just take this topic further, a lot of people talk about hearing the Anahad naad in their meditation and in deeper states of awareness. So, what are your thoughts? What's your take on the same?
And Anahad is very very interesting. It's like, you have not heard it, but still you're hearing it. It's like a sound that is primordially existing since the beginning of the universe. Am I lagging? One second, I have some issue
It's
with
when you
this.
ask. It's when you ask, "Are you lagging?" That there is a lag.
Okay, okay. Uh, so in Anahad Yoga, what you do is basically Anahad Naad, you meditate to the point of stillness where you hear nothing but the primordial sound. Actually, I will give out an interesting tip. if you want to know if you're ready to step into that kind of sadhana in yoga, you should visit Sri Salem, because in Sri Salem there is Brahmarambika Devi, a person who has attained that kind of stillness in his mind. If they go to the sannidhi of the Brahmarambika Devi and sits even for like 5 to 10 minutes, and they're spiritually allowed and inclined, and they have that patrata, they will be able to hear buzzing of the bees even till date. So that is one of your signs that you're ready to ask questions and actually delve into this anahad, because your mind should be still. In another way, anahad is also related to kundalini, because when the kundalini unfurls, it makes a spandana. Uh, because okay, I will elaborate it a bit. Okay, so uh, you always say that people don't have Shakti. That's a common statement across all sadhana things. We never say people don't have Vishnu, people don't have Rudra. We never say that. We never say people doesn't don't have Shiva. The reason is the first spandana, the first actual spandana of your kundalini, of your consciousness, that will give a naad, that will give a sound wave, which is very, very ethereal. And that is where Shakti opens her eyes inside you, inside your consciousness. That is the first step to Anahad. And that is why when Kundalini rises, you will hear all kinds of sounds, all kinds of buzzing and all those things. But eventually, in meditation, when you hear nothing, you are in a silent place, not in your home, because there will be traffic always. We are crowded, we are overpopulated. Um, Now you can, when you go into this Himalayas or some deep forests, you sit there, because I have seen forests that still exist where there are no sound of insects as well. So you sit there for a few minutes, close your eyes, and then you will hear that Anahad Naad, if you are ready. I hope this answers the question. But okay, I will
Me.
see give you two exclusions. If you hear the Anahad, you might go into Vairagya. Okay, because that is very interesting, and you will like, what am I doing in this life? Like everything is useless instantly when you hear that, and for days it will continue. And second thing is, when you go into such places, ask your guru. Do not, again I will repeat, ask your guru. Do not experiment. And you should know your digbandhan and deha bandhan and everything, because you will need to go into such kind of a secular and desolate place because of the sound pollution we have in the cities.
Prithvi, anything you want to add to what Kaustav has said?
Uh,
So I also remember when a couple of videos where Rajarshiji also mentioned in line with what you stated regarding Vairagya. The Anahadna, the Pranava is the first sound, meaning it's Parabrahma in a phonetical form. So it would lead to Vairagya. So now I can connect with both the statements. So since we're talking about consciousness now, one of the questions that somebody had posted on your timeline was, what are the three states of consciousness? What is your take on them?
Okay. Three states of consciousness: Jagrat, Supsuti, I mean sleeping, dreaming, and awake. Now, the point is each of them have their own utilizations. Uh, in the sense that in when you're awake, you are supposed to be doing your karma in the physical manifestation. When you are sleeping, you're supposed to go, delve deep into your unconscious and go into a meditation form. That is why sleeping is also known as a temporary death in many texts, because you do not remember what went by or what happened while you were sleeping. And there is another state of consciousness, dreaming. Dreamy states, astral world, obviously, you can do a multiple stuff, but there are dangers also. So these three states of consciousness are also directly or indirectly linked with each other, because what happens in when you are awake has a direct imprint on your subconsciousness. If you are not aware or not cleaning yourself properly, you will have the same imprint of that in your dream, and you will wander off in your astral worlds or in your subconscious. That is why, if you notice, in proper yogic paths and proper tantric paths, it is said, take a bath before you go to sleep, do sandhyarchan, or at least do some deepam, or pray to your gods. The Christians also do that. They pray to God before they go to sleep, because you are somehow unlocking yourself from all the karmic activities. You're going to that state of restfulness, and then you enter that state of sleeping. Else, there will be issues. So these three states of consciousness, uh, they will be very much, how do I put it? They are very much important. You cannot override either of them. And in sadhana, each and every state of consciousness is somehow linked to the tattvas. Because if you notice, what which text did I read? Yeah, it was in the Skanda Purana. In the Skanda Purana, one of the names of Skanda is uh, Shat Trimshad Prasada Bhutanai Namo Nama. So there are 36, more than 36 or 42 tattvas, and all of them work through your physical body when you are awake. When you're sleeping, few of the tattvas they try to balance themselves, and rest all they are silent. So this is how all the three states of consciousness are interlinked with your sadhana, with what you do in your mundane life, and how you treat yourself. That is also why in yoga, one of the core things of meditation, it said you are not supposed to sleep in yoga. That is why at times when certain tattva gets activated when you're doing japa, you will start yawning, because that specific vayu or specific thing is acting upon you. This is how the three states of consciousness are linked. Now, if you go into hardcore tantra, there are rules such as, for example, you are supposed to do 500 malas, okay, in one sitting. You reach the 499th mala and you yawn. You start from zero. That is how tough it gets, because the tattva that was in you, Anirudh is shocked. The tattva that was in you, and the vayu. There are various kinds of vayus in our body that got intermingled. You misaligned from what you were supposed to do. So start again. So that is how the three states of consciousness are there, and they are both important in your sadhana for yoga and tantra.
I have one doubt
Yes,
that
please.
most of the time when sadhakas they do japa and all these things, uh, we tend to get yawn. Right? How do
Yes,
we
even I
stop
do.
that?
Even I do. Okay, so there are two. Okay, I will first go by the standard text and then I will say the practical things. Okay, so the standard, it says you're not supposed to yawn, because a sadhaka is supposed to live a very balanced life, balanced diet. When a yawn is coming, you are basically, you're basically giving out the signature to the universe that there's some imbalance in your vayu shakti, not the prana vayu, but the other udana vyana, all those vayus. There's some imbalance in that, and you should balance it out. That is why you go for proper diet, not sattvic diet or tamasic diet, but proper balanced diet. Now, coming to practical tantric stuff, if you are yawning during your sadhana, there might be some negative entity around you who is trying to pull out the shakti of your japa. That is why it is said you always do digbandhana, dehabandhana before you go for japa. But on the practical side, most of us work in the corporate. Okay. So for example, I do japa at around what? 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the night. So I am bound to have yawn. So these things can be overlooked. But however, if it happens every time, for example, you are supposed to do 5 malas, and every day, every time, consistently after the third mala, you are getting a yawn, then it signifies something that needs to be checked. But occasionally, once in a while, today I had it, tomorrow I didn't have any yawn, then it's all right. It means your body is just trying to realign itself. So nothing to worry about. But when you go for Purush Charan or any hardcore Sankalpa, that time you need to be very much careful about it. Because yawn, in a way, you are leaving out your Vayu, right? So you're giving out the Shakti. You're like losing a bit of Shakti into the ether. That's all.
So in
Another
those moments,
question.
Kaustav, bhai, just to sorry to interrupt, Prithvi. So in those moments, you just control the yawn, or what do we do if you're
It
now
is
if you're well rested and everything?
okay. It is good to control the yawn, but most of us we cannot control. So let it be. That's why we do the Shama Prarthana. That Devi, we don't know anything. We are your kids. You'll take care of it.
Uh, Another question which I had was regarding astral
Hmm.
world. You said we were talking about that, right? During sleep, we go to astral world and all that. So I have heard this with many people, and this has been like personal experience also, that sometimes involuntarily we go into that world,
Hmm. Hmm.
and sometimes the experience is good, and sometimes it's too scary. So how do
Yes.
we control that, or how do we yeah, basically how do we have some control over it?
Okay. To have control over it, you need to be very much aware of your body. That, like what yoga says, you have to be aware of everything. Uh, uh, One of the psychologists in like 1950s, they developed a term that is known as hyperesthetic emotions. Okay, so what happens is these hyperesthetic or hyperesthetic psychology that we have is, we specifically we men, okay, we go through a lot. We do a corporate job, we handle our bosses, we handle our team, we handle our family, we do this that. After that we do a sadhana, and then we go to sleep. Whatever happened throughout the day, okay, it keeps us in a high adrenaline mode. Not, I would not say medically high adrenaline, but somewhat high states of consciousness. So if you are going to sleep in that mode, you will definitely, and plus you did your japa before going to sleep probably, so it will boost your shakti, and automatically or involuntarily you will go into the astral zone. To control it, the basic stuff is, you should always, you know consciously pray to the deity. I mean that you are, I'm going to sleep, and please take care of me in my sleep. It's a psychological thing, but it also works as per certain yogic methods. You consciously tell to the deity. Now the thing is, if you go into the astral world, you will, anything can happen, because there have been records of you going to parallel universes. You go, you meet beings or stuff you can't even imagine. And you like I was reading, not reading, I was listening to, I guess, Shraddhalu Ranade. He mentioned about somewhere, from the mother's recordings, I guess, that somebody went in the astral stuff, and they saw there were animals who would keep human heads as trophies on their walls in some other dimension. And the thing is, if you go in there involuntarily, it obviously makes a risk, because if something gets cut, your cord, that from your navel, you are connected with your astral body. If that gets cut or severe, you won't ever wake up. And people will be like, he was a very good sadhaka, he passed away in sleep. But you would be lost somewhere and you won't know how to return back.
This I have heard.
So it's not you just passing away; you're actually stuck in a limbo.
Yeah, you're stuck in a limbo forever.
Oh.
When I did know, when I read about the umbilical cord, but what how much we could read was that once it's cut, gone. This life is gone. But eternally in a
Or
limbo,
it
that
is
is.
also possible that you come back and you bring back five more friends from that dimension.
Oh my
And then they will bother you throughout your life. That is why you will see people at times when they do, these mantras or anything without supervision, they start getting bad dreams. Their life turns upside down suddenly. That is the reason. because they cannot control the Shakti. There is no supervision. They go in there and they come back and suffer. Because, for example, for every human has a negative thought. Okay, like a life before sadhana. So, if, for example, I have some negative thought, it becomes a thought form. It's not a living being, it's not an entity, but it's a conscious form in the astral domain. Now, there are several layers of astrals. So, for example, a person who does not do yoga or anything, but for example, does simply akashic records, okay, without any sadhana or without any protection or anything, they go in there, they meet or they cross over my negative thought form, and since I am doing sadhana consciously to cut off my negative thought form, since it is conscious, it will latch on to them. So when they wake up from next day onwards, they will start getting all my negative thoughts and I will be free. That is why Sri Aurobindo said once that thoughts, they travel. And I have like experienced it also. Thoughts travel, and you can actually pick up thoughts of people. There is no actually original thought, and that is why yoga says meditate, do manonasha. Only then these thought forms, these things will get clear, and you will get something original out of yourself.
Well, we'd hoped for no power cuts. I think Prithvi went okay, far as by. Kaustubhai, to proceed with this, for those who are not being guided by a guru, who is available to them, and have been in sadhana for a period of 3 years, what would be your advice to them? What next? How do they progress?
Okay. So the first point I would like to put, that was taught to me by Shri Ramachandra sir, that was be consistent and disciplined. You can say that you have been in sadhana for 3 years only if you have not given a single day of break. Only then you can say that my 3 years of sadhana is complete. You miss one day of your kriya, one day of your pranayama, you go back to zero. That's the basic thing. That's the amount of discipline you need. Now, there are some people obviously who have done continuously. For them, the next stage would be to connect with the deity. Now, how do you connect with the deity? You connect through meditation, you connect through bhava, and you put in some conscious effort in understanding what the deity likes. Okay, so for example, uh, we all know that after a certain stage of sadhana, you are supposed to offer alcohol to Devi and Bhairava. Okay, now uh, what if you don't have tantric diksha? You're supposed to offer coconut water. That is also known, or jaggery. The point is, how many of us actually went back, studied the texts, and see what are the other things we can do? So, for example, uh, if one is a Brahmin, one has a Janu Yagnapavit, they are only supposed to offer jaggery and honey, nothing else. They cannot technically offer coconut water. Okay. If somebody is because coconut water is sattvic, Brahmins are sattvic, the sattvic. Kshatriyas, they are supposed to offer, mahua flower juice and grapes as an anukalpa to alcohol. Same with Vaishyas. And if somebody is a Shudra, they will offer this. Uh, they will offer this rice water as anukalpa of alcohol. The thing is, these are all in the text, but what we want is, somebody should come tell us with an authority figure, should tell us, and then we will do it. The first point of doing sadhana is you should be able to step up. You should have that much confidence in yourself that I have done this, I know this, I have faith in myself, I have faith in my devta. So even if I offer something, that is out of the norm, will not be a problem. My devta will correct me. Have that faith. Do not be afraid of the devta, because if you have been worshipping a devta for 3 years, you should develop that confidence on your devta. If not, there's a problem. Of course, if you're breaking the rules and you are being all hoity-toity, devta will punish you back. So keep your ego aside and then say that I don't know this, I want to offer you this. How do I offer? Another thing, I will just give a shortcut for people who would like to read later. There are certain names of alcohol that is not openly said. I mean, it's now it's open, but people search for madhyapan or karan pan and all those things, but there are classifications of alcohol. Okay, so in a text, if you go by the name of Gauri, it is sattvic alcohol. Sattvic anukalpa of alcohol is known as Gauri. Madhavi is the rajasic anukalpa of alcohol, and Peshti is the tamasic or the Shudra form of alcohol or the tamasic tattva. So, in text, when you're reading stotrams, when you're reading stuff, you come across these terms, just keep an open eye and you will know. And the best thing I would say is to do kavachams of your Ishta Devta and do Sahasranam. uh, there are rules, not rules, I would say, they are like encoded things in the Shahasranams. If you do it consistently, and once you cross the 1,000 count, automatically things will unlock for you on behalf of the devta, and then you will get it as a sign clearly to step up. The reason I'm specifically talking about alcohol is, uh, I have seen people who are not non-vegetarian, but they will still have alcohol. So alcohol is universal. Okay, so even if you're not eating meat, you can offer alcohol. However, do not try these things in a temple. Do not try this in a random place, because you don't know what kind of agama shastra or what kind of rule or what kind of uh, temperament the deity in that temple has. For example, if I'm offering alcohol to Shiva or Pashupati, I will not go and offer alcohol to Chidambaram Nataraja. He will kick me out instantly. I will not go and offer, alcohol on Kashi Vishwanath. I will only offer it at Kalabhairava. So offer it at your home. First, if you have a mentor, take permission, seek permission, do the Anukalpa, and then do it. The reason is, alcohol is uh, very, very, very important. Okay, the reason because in, I guess, in a text that we have, what text do we have? Okay, in a text it says, uh, I guess it is Bhav Chudamani. Yes, in Bhav Chudamani, it says, Bina hetukam Bina hetukam sadhya shobhayate devi something. So basically, it says Bina hetukam sadhaket devi. So in here, one of the things is, hetu here is not your goal. Many people say, we link it to normal Hindi and Sanskrit terms, that hetu means goal or something, but in here, hetu means alcohol. So in these ways, these things will be decoded by your guru actually. So that is why, technically, you, till you reach that level of diksha, you will do anukalpa. When you reach that level of diksha, your guru will tell, okay, this is the thing. He will unlock these words for you and say, okay, now go and offer alcohol. You're eligible. Okay, so that is one of the stages. So primarily, you do not break your discipline, and then you take a diksha. Again, what if you're not finding a guru? That is the major question. What if you're not finding a guru? uh, there are three or four types of diksha that you can actually take, and it is valid, and I was taught about this by a few masters in Bengal and Varanasi. So one of them is Saurya Diksha. What you do in that is, when Vishnu is awake, like 6 months Vishnu is awake, when Vishnu is awake and Vishnu is sleeping. So in that time, what you do is, when Vishnu is awake in the Uttarayan phase, on or on a Sankranti specifically, you sit early in the morning on ghats of any river. Just when the sun is rising, you do a trataka on the sun, and you write on a paper the mantra you wish to adopt as your Ishta mantra. You show the paper like this to the sun, hold it as much as you can, say 5 to 15 minutes, and meditate on the mantra. After that, you put it into a locket and wear it. You have your Saurya Diksha. That is allowed actually. Or if you are staying near some river where there is some sangam, what you do is you do the same thing early in the morning, not in the evening. Very risky for entities. Early in the morning at Brahma Muhurta, when the sun is just rising, go there, do your Digbandhan. Okay, I will tell you a Digbandhan after this, like a basic Digbandhan, how to do it. You take it, and what you do is you sit on your asan properly, do the japa. Do not keep a count. 108 malas is good, but at least it should take around 1 to 1.5 hours. You do the japa, uh, then you take water in your hand and say that I am hereby taking diksha of my ishtha, and I will hence hereforward consider that this person, this deity, as my guru. Then you take hire a boat, go to the sangam, drop that piece of paper, and say, I am hereby your disciple, and you will help me find me a physical guru. That is must. Physical guru is must. But till then, you are going to guide me. So this is how you take diksha from your deity. And on Guru Purnimas, there are there are yogic things that are I would not say, but on a normal Puranic basis, treat your Ishta Devta as a guru. You offer them food, you offer them naivedya, and say that I am looking for a physical guru, but Shiva is the ultimate guru, or Devi is the ultimate guru. So till I have a physical guru, I am taking you as my guru. If there are any mistakes, do not punish me, but please correct me so that I can worship you better. You have a Dev Diksha now. You have a Ishta Diksha. Till, but you cannot postpone. You cannot judge other people and say, "Oh, like Shiva is my guru directly. Now I won't have a good physical guru." That is not allowed. There's a time limit for that also. Like around 2 to 3 years, you can maintain that. After that, Shiva will be like, "I have been sending you people, but you're rejecting, so I will not be your guru anymore." So you have got 2 to 3 years, but you can do that for Ishta Diksha and Dev Diksha.
Uh, it, but before this topic, uh, this topic was like we covered a lot of things,
Mhm.
and from Karana, and then we went to the substitutes, and then we went to Diksha. You spoke about the alcohol, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere I have heard that people also offer meat
Yes, yes,
to
yes,
the
yes.
deities.
Hmm.
Do we have substitute for that also?
Substitute for meat, yes, arhar dal. Sorry, masoor dal. Masoor dal is a good substitute for meat. Like no matter what your burden is, you can do that. Masoor dal. And if you are making meat, technically, if you're making meat, it should be mutton or pork only, not chicken. And the meat should be vegetarian, cooked in a vegetarian way. How? There should be no onion or garlic in the meat. Only your turmeric, all the masalas, and a bit of ginger, and you cook it. If you put uh, garlic and onion, it becomes actual non-vegetarian meat. But again, technically, I guess in one of the cola texts I read, if you don't have anything alcohol, you can say, I don't have meat, please accept this alcohol. So he will actually, Devi and Bhairava and Shiva, they will actually like that. But do not do it for Vaishnava deities, that becomes another big issue. Only for the Shaiva deities. Uh, Now there comes another question. People will ask, I mean, so I'm just going beforehand. What to do with the alcohol? You offer a glass full of alcohol to the deity, now what to do? So, uh, technically you are supposed to have as much as your adhikara is, okay? So technically you are supposed to have a patra for alcohol. Uh, it 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 is referred in Nila Tantra basically refers to it. And you will take as much as you can in one sip. Okay, that should be the amount. So if you can take in one sip, you can digest without coughing out. Maximum 2 sips. You keep 2 sips of amount of alcohol. Maximum is 3 sip. However, in Vamachara Tantra, as per when you go into the Shri Vidya and all those higher level of sadhana, the guru will fix how much the quantity should be. But basically it is one sip of alcohol you're allowed to take as prasad that you get in temples. They give you, for your achman, this thing achmani they give you. But there is a very good classification whether you should be able to offer alcohol or how much. The quantity is as much as you can handle without losing your capability of speech or your senses. That is your limit. The moment you overstep it, it becomes pashupan, not divyapan. So if you don't know how much is your limit or how you should increase, best peer person to say is guru, not me, not this blog, not this podcast. Talk to your guru, and they will tell you how much should you offer, because shastra technically tells in Paramananda Tantra that a guru should prescribe how much a disciple should drink. Because if the disciple fails in these kind of things, the onus is on guru, and both guru and shishya, they both go into hell. So that is why, thankfully, I'm not a guru and I'm not endorsing anything. So ask your guru about alcohol. And for meat, it is masoor dal, the best thing.
So there's no varna categorizations as you mentioned for alcohol, right?
No, no, for
In case of
alcohol there
meat.
is.
No,
For
in case of
alcohol
meat,
or
there's
alcohol
no.
there is. For meat there is nothing.
Okay. Uh, so you also briefly touched upon how you can introduce bhava and other elements into your sadhana, and of course these anukalpa offerings also. One of the things that we also wanted you to touch upon, request you to touch upon, was how do you connect with the devatas through rituals and practices?
Okay. So through rituals and practices, basic thing would be for males, do nyasa. Okay, do the basic nyasa. Every deity has around at least 100 types of not 100, 70, 80 types of nyasa. Start with the basic, your anganyasa, your all those nyasas, rishi nyasa. Start with them. The reason is, when you're putting your this you're doing this nyasa, you are invoking the deities inside your body. So you are doing shuddhikaran. So you will have a better chance of connecting with the deity. Second is, keep your emotion steady. In the sense, once you have delved a bit into sadhana, you will see every day around the time you start to do sadhana, something or the other will happen and your mood will go haywire. You will never be able to sit happily. That is a reason or a sign that the deity is testing you basically. And the onus is on the sadhaka to sit and do japa in a calm mind. That is why uh, in yoga and tantra, okay, I will not say this yoga and tantra, I will not differentiate again. Yes, I will. If I'm saying about tantra, please consider about yoga also. You're not supposed to do your sadhana when you're in an angry mood, because the impact will hit back very badly. For example, a simple mantra, like Om Hanumatai Hum Phat, a simple mantra. You do it with a lot of bhava and emotion, it will be safe, it will protect you. You do it in anger, it not will, it can act as an abhichara kriya on the person you are angry on, even if you don't know. So you should always go in sambhava and steady mind when you are going into sadhana. Best is you go into the sadhana out of love, out of your devotion for the deity. Of course, there will be days or like months where you are like so tense, something is going on in your life. Still, then do your sadhana, because what counts is the dedication. Now, what we think is, for example, if I'm worshipping, say, Durga, okay, what I will think is, okay, I'm worshipping Durga every day, so uh, nothing is going to, I mean, my sadhana is only going to Durga. It doesn't happen that way. What happens is, there will be yoginis of the deity. They will come and visit you regularly when you're doing it. That is why one of the things in sadhana, specifically during Purush Charana, it is said, sorry, do your sadhana at the same time, daily, because you mark your address in that space point of time where other beings come and bless you, other beings come and visit you. For example, say Anirudh, he does sadhana every day at 7 p.m. So they will know, and every day they will come and test whether he's being consistent. So first is discipline, second is guru, third is consistency, and your bhava. Apart from that, try to try to progress in the sadhana. How? Progress in the sense, memorize the stotra. We all do the sadhana, but I have seen a lot of people, like for example, they have done it for 5 years even, but they cannot, tell out even the Ashtotta Shataram of their Ishta Devta by heart. Now, what does that speak of them? If you're actually so good, if you're actually so dedicated, why didn't you memorize it? And also, stotra parts generally they are more beneficial when you do not read it from a piece of paper. For example, if you're doing a long mantra, you're always, for example, a mala mantra, you're always advised to memorize it first. Reading from a text, a mantra, generally kills the efficacy. So maybe you have been doing it for 10 years. You have gone nowhere because it did not get inside of you. One of the practical observations that we have had is, if a person learns the Ashtottara Shatanam of the deity, it means what? That the mantra, that the names have gone inside his subconscious. How did it get inside his subconscious? Because the deity allowed. Means the person has already connected with the Devta. No matter how good your memory is, until and unless the deity wants, you won't be able to memorize his or her stotra. So that is also a sign. For rituals, I would say, uh, should I? Okay, fine. I will tell you. So, what happens in this world of tantra and yoga? Okay, people steal your shakti. Blatantly, I will say, people steal your shakti. Many people say that I have been doing for, like, 5 years, 6 years, every day with discipline, everything, but hell has come loose in my home. How did it happen? The point is, even though you were connected with the deity, even though there was something auspicious in your home, you did not protect your Shakti. Now understand this: protecting Shakti and progressing spiritually are similar but not same. For example, uh, whenever we do this, how do I put it? Um okay, whenever we are doing this sadhana, for example, I do kavacha of, say, Durga every day. Have I stored that Shakti somewhere? No. I do it, it works for like few hours, 24 hours, then I again restart it. What if, as for example, I have advanced a bit, I know some few techniques, I'm giving the Shakti to the Murti of Durga that I have. Now, say Anirudh, he is a very high class tantric and he wants to do some damage to me. And maybe he's a relative of mine. Okay, this happens mostly due to relatives. He will come and say, Kostav, I also, am into Tantra, I'm into yoga. I need some holy place to sit and do my japa. I will say, yes, please do. So he will sit at my place in my puja space and he will invoke his deities. I won't notice, he won't be chanting it out loud. Then what he will do, maybe I have offered, we do that sankalpa and all those things, we offer a flower to the deity. He will take that flower from my puja space. I won't even notice. It's just a simple flower. He will carry it back to his home. What he did, he carried the link of my sankalpa back to his home, and then he will start the vichara kriya. All the shaktis that I had will follow him. Not because the deities are weak, but because the deities have to respect the rules of Tantra. That is religion. Deities such as Parashiva, Sadashiva, Dakshinamurti, who are like beyond realms, they don't follow. But deities who are closer to our realms, such as Varaha, or even like, this very, very closer to the plane deities, for example, Kaduppa Swami or Bamki Mata, and all those deities, they will strictly follow the rules of this earth realm. So if Anirudh is doing something and he knows how to do it, it is as per the proper scriptures, my deities will, my Shakti will follow. That is why you will see whenever you are taught something advanced, you are always given a way to do the Kshetrapal Bali. Every deity has a yogini, their at ganas, the assistants, and same way every grama has a grama devta, and every area has a Kshetrapal. That is why we give Kshetrapal Bali everywhere. Now, if for example Anirudh is coming from Bangalore, okay, he has to cross so much distance. He will have to appease my Kshetrapala and his Kshetrapala to take away my Shakti with him. But it is possible. Within 1 year of sadhana, these things can be developed. So that is how you connect with the deity. You do your sadhana, but you protect your Shakti very fiercely. Your sadhana space becomes your personal personal bed, your personal undergarment. Actually, nobody should see it, nobody should be able to even enter it. Just as you keep a garbhagriha. Now you may be staying in some place where you cannot have some distinct protection. Maybe you live in a 3 bhk with no separate puja room, and you have to do the puja in your bedroom. In those kind of cases, there's also another technique. What you do is you keep your pitrus happy, and you do the Dwara Pujan, the protector of your deity, the Grihastha Devta. Okay, you have a Ishta Devta, you have a Kula Devta. Similarly, there is a Grihastha Devta. The Grihastha Devta is the Gana of your Ishta Devta who is in charge of protecting you. That is your Grihastha Devta. Your Grihastha Devta always stays at the main door. That is why people still today they do columns or the intricate designs near their door. If you are keeping your main door happy, I mean clean, sanctified, and all these things, even if they come, they will not be able to take away that much. And so your connectivity with the deity will be proper. It's like, okay, to tell something, to make it more simplified. Uh, you have your deity, and you're doing the sadhana. So similarly, you have a mobile phone, and the SIM card is your mantra japa or your sadhana. The mobile phone is your deity, and the signal is your bhava or intention. So if somebody takes away the SIM card or cuts off the connectivity, either or, you won't be able to connect. So you will be doing it for say 10 years, no progress. Why? Because somebody else is taking away. That is why also you're not supposed to take yantras and this murtis from people whom you cannot trust 100%. For example, if I'm making a yantra for somebody, I will add something or the other in that, so that what happens is when that person does the yantra puja with wholehearted devotion, he will get 20%, I will get 80% of the puja phalam, and he will do it lifelong. And so he may be doing it for money. He will do it for I need 1 lakh rupees this month. He will get 20,000. I will get 80,000, and he will say, "Oh, God gave something. Something must be in my karma. That's why it's being prevented." So this is how you protect and connect. So in a way, connecting with a deity is essential, very much essential, but protecting your deity, your puja space is also essential. And now how to connect through rituals? First is nyasa. Then apart from that, learn, memorize the stotras, do homas. If you are not authorized to do homas, visit places where the homas are done, be the yajman for the homa. And another mode of connection is talk to your deity. Just as you talk to your family members or this and that after your puja every day for 10 to 15 minutes, shut down everything, shut off your mind, don't even go into meditation if you don't want. Tell to the deity what happened to you throughout the day. This is how you connect, because they are deities, but there are ganas of the devta across. When you're doing the puja, they will come and stay there, they will come into your home eventually. Even if you cannot see them, they will be hearing you, they will be responding to you. However, the catch here is you have to be truthful. You cannot try to impose something that you know subconsciously that you're lying and still ask for it. For example, you did not study for the exam and still say, I have studied a lot, but please make me pass. They will hit you back very badly. So you work hard, then you request, and then you connect with the deity.
So, Costa, before Prithvi starts, I'll ask. I have a couple of, I think this is a very powerful segment that you just covered. So, Prithvi, you can probably add to what I may be asking us because it might be related. So, Costa Bhai can answer at once. So, one thing is, uh, Kaustav, you mentioned that Dwara Puja, right? So, other than making that art column in front of the door, is there any other puja that you can do for those who are not very artistically
Yeah.
blessed, right?
So you might have seen people in villages. I have actually seen recently in my trip to Bengal as well. People who are like, they who don't know anything. What they do is the grandmother specifically. They wake up in early in the morning and they pour out water in front of the main door of the home. That is a very good way to clean off the negative shaktis. Anything might have come into during the night and all. So you're just pouring water, it's cleaned. Then, if you're not doing kolam, light a deepam on both sides of the door. On one side is your Kula Bhairava, on one side will be your Kula Devi. So you light the deepam and the pitrus. The pitrus are always said to, like in the North Indian tantric sect, the pitrus are said to be, on the parapet of your door. That is why you will see in temples also, you're not supposed to step up on that. You're supposed to cross over, and that is why in there, as per Agama Shastra, underneath those parapets, there would be hidden gemstones and all yantras and stuff. That is why we don't step. Similarly, since your home is also sort of a mandir, it becomes that of that vibe. The pitrus will come and stay there. So you keep your main door clean, no hanging, old dried flowers and all those things. Clean it regularly. Offer a agarbatti, offer deepam on both sides regularly. Even if at least once in a week, your home will be protected. Even if you don't do kolam.
Uh, since we are talking about the spaces and the protection, uh, you had mentioned that you would uh, tell the basic Deha Bandhana. Can you we
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
that? Can
yeah.
you?
So basically, whenever you go into this anywhere that you are, there might be something. It's you can find the mantra in Parashuram Kalpasutra actually as well. You take a bit of one morsel of this sarso in your right hand. You say a mantra, or you make a sankalpa, or rather say it out aloud that I am here to do this and this sadhana, and I am here by the agya of Shiva. If you're doing a male deity, as upasana, or if you're doing a female deity, you say by the agya of Devi, and you throw away the sarso all across you. Any
Hmm.
negative thing that is about to disrupt your sadhana will move away. After that, you take your right leg heel, and you hit the ground 3 times with it. The space is somewhat safe. No negative things can come in until and unless the deity you are worshipping, they are sending it in that space to test you. Okay, so that is the basic Digabandhana. For Deha Bandhana, there's this mantra, right? Om Ghorabhyo Ghorabhyo. That mantra you say out 7 times, and how do I say, blow on yourself 3 times. You're safe. But the thing is, if you're not into regular sadhana, if you're not into, very diligent stuff, these may not work,
Hmm.
because the moment you do it, even if there might be some entity who is like, okay, I was not supposed to disturb you, but since you said it, I will disturb you. So there might be cases like that also. So it's just a level one protection. So always take permission of your guru, practice all these things, and of course do your kavacham, and then go for these things. Then you will be protected. So basically, if you say you want to do go on the river banks and do this kind of thing, For 41 days, do a simple kavacha of any deity you like with the sankalpa that I am going to do this. When I go to the river bank and do this, please protect me. Simple. You're equally protected.
Thank you so much for you have explained it in a so beautiful manner.
Thank you.
Kaustav bhai, how to manage sadhana? You have gotten these questions a lot. I've seen a lot of your posts also revolve around one particular instance. You had mentioned that try to eat your food by
Yes.
yourself as much as possible. If that is not possible, you at least get up and leave the first from the table. So that is professional aspect. So how would you manage sadhana in your personal life and professional life context?
That is a tough question, and it's a ongoing learning, honestly. Uh, so you have to be very distinct. So if you want uh, to progress in sadhana, your sadhana should be your first life. Your profession should be your second life. Every day you should be, able to say to yourself that I can drop my professional life at the drop of a hat and I will walk away if it challenges my sadhana. uh, my friend Shri Kumar, he once said a very interesting thing to me. He said, prove yourself worthy to the deity, and the deity will make the amendments for you." So, if you are seeing that you are trying to do a sadhana and there are a lot of hiccups, specifically from the professional side, beg to your ishta. Tell to them that show them that I am dedicated to you. I am doing these things for you. I want to progress. If you want puja from me, or if you want me to improve, change my life. And I can assure you, 100,000%, they will put you in a better spot. I have a friend, or he works in some other country. In there, he has scarcity of water so much he cannot even do proper achamana, and he has been struggling there. Now, after all these years, he is about to complete and he's coming back to India and he's so happy. He's like, the first thing I will do is lot of Achman and Tarpan. That's a specific thing. So, what happens is you manage. Second thing is you should be free from contamination. Okay. So, what I do is when I enter office, I cut off my private life. Okay, in the office there is no strict stuff, no religion basis. Of course, we are all secular, but internally it should always work. For example, in office you do not let any arguments bother you. You should be detached. Then actually that is one of the best places to practice your vairagya if you're actually so much spiritually inclined. No matter what says, yeah, fine, I will work with it. No matter what the pressure, I am not this body, I am not this manager, I'm not this VP, I am the one who does the sadhana. So you go into Shakshi Bhav and you deal with it. So that is one of the best things to maintain. When it hampers your this life of sadhana, you should be able to take a stand. In the sense, I don't think nowadays anybody forces you to to do something. If you give them that, tell them that it is a religious reason. The problem what I have seen is people are reluctant to say that they are practicing Hindus or they're actually doing any hardcore sadhana. I assure you, you just tell to your people that I do this sadhana and I need this leave. Of course, they will give you. If they're not giving, means you're 100% in an asuric place. Then you should think of changing. But first, speak up, own your identity. Because I have seen, Muslims don't hesitate to say that they will be taking leave in Eid. Why should we worry? That is Shivratri. How can I ask? No, I am a Shaivite. I follow Shiva. I will take a leave. I do Navratri, I will take a leave. If a Muslim can take a leave, I can take a leave. It's about balance, right? So open up about your religious identity and then everything will fall into place. The problem that arises is we are hesitant. We try to appear secular and modern and millennial hype, and then we creep in the background, oh, I did not get time, my office did not give me leave. So that is the main reason. Wear your tilaks, maintain your festivals, everything. People, if people don't know that you are into sadhana, how will they support you? Isn't it? I don't think anybody in the office will come and say you're not supposed to do, say, for example, Mahashivratri. If there is something, just say, I'm on a fast, I will not eat on Mahashivratri. Simple as that. From a higher perspective, when you advance into sadhana, things will get problematic because you will get a lot of chitta pollution. However, by that time you will know a lot of kavachams, you will know a lot of meditations automatically, so that you are protected. And of course you have to go into the sakshi bhav, and you have to keep in way that everything is same, and I am not this, not this, neti neti. It will go away. But honestly speaking, when the things go very bad, that time it is your deity who will pick you up from this place and put you there. Many people I know, they have left their jobs because of sadhana. I mean, for example, uh, Rajeshi ji himself, he also left his job because of sadhana. So DT has put him in a better place. It is also sometimes a test of faith. What are you choosing? If you choose the job and try to balance, you won't be, because the DT will be like, okay, if you are trying to balance me, I will also give you balanced attention. So you have to take that leap of faith at least once in your life. That test will come from everybody who has been doing sadhana for at least more than 4 or 5 years. It will come in evidently, no matter what. But if it comes, means you have progressed a lot. If it doesn't, means you are still yet to progress. Carry on. But do not bring your own problems into sadhana. Like, for example, maybe you are an introvert, you don't like talking to people, and don't say, it is disrupting my sadhana. It doesn't work that way. The deities see deep inside us. So be consistent, be honest with the deity, tell them your life problems, and you will be able to balance. And always have that equanimity uh, when you enter your office zone, because always remember at the back of your head, if you get angry, if you do office politics, or if you take advantage of your positional power or all these things, your sadhana will go down the road. Technically speaking, based on that, you should be the perfect office person whom everybody likes to talk to if you are a good sadhaka. If people hate you, if people see you for doing politics in office, means you're lacking somewhere big time in your sadhana. If you are insulting people in office, you are quarreling and all these things, your sadhana is lacking and you should fix it. So that is how you balance. What you do at home, you carry that energy in your office, make it a safe space, make it a good space to work, and you take up the poison, come back, drop it, ask your ishta to clear you out. That's how you balance it basically.
Prithvi, do you have anything to ask here, or can I ask?
Uh, yeah, one thing which I want to ask is you had mentioned in the previous topic that the place where we are worshipping, yeah, where we are doing the sadhana, that has to be protected well, and keep it kept it secluded. Now suppose a person is going out with his family, or for let's say 10 to 15 days, he's not available there during those times. What is the ideal thing to do?
Okay.
And to just add
That
here,
is
Kaustav, if
why.
I may, so we can combine an answer. One is this, what Prithvi mentioned. And we also see now there are quite a few homes where there are two puja spaces that are becoming very vogue. Like one is a public puja room, and one is a private sadhana space, right? And also remember some of the friends that I met in I met in the retreats we have. They also had personal constraints, and they were doing their sadhana in their bedrooms. So how do they also ensure, given the limitations that they have, how can they navigate that as well,
Okay.
tied in together?
So, when I was starting out my job, I used to stay in a hostel. So, in a hostel, I didn't even have, a murti. So, murti is not always necessary. First point is clear. Okay. No photo even needed. All you need is a japamala. When the Jad they say Jadachara means whatever you do when in Rome, do as Romans do. If you don't have a space, if you're in a hostel, sit on the bed and do the japa. God will not, punish you because that is your situation. Second thing, uh, if you have got two spaces in your home, it's perfectly all right because sometimes the energy of the deity doesn't match. For example, uh, if the girl is doing, for example, Devi Saraswati, and the boy is doing Saraveshwara, it will not match. Or if the Devi is doing Lakshmi and a boy is into a Ghor sadhana of Shamshana Kali, it will not match. That time it is allowed because the energies will misalign. Apart from that, if yeah, you can keep two, one for public and one for thing is absolutely fine. However, the point is the murti that is for the public display that should also get a deepam at least once in 15 days. Show them some deepam and agarbatti once in 15 days. Now comes to the point, what if we are traveling? If we are traveling, you are supposed to take your murtis and the yantra. If it is more than 15 days technically. If it is a yantra, I would actually suggest carry it. If it is a murti, depending on your choice, you should carry it. If it is not that big. That is why in Grihastha sadhana, the murtis are always done with achala pratishtha. They're chala pratishtha. They're never achal. Chala pratishtha is for the grihasthas that you can pick up the murti and you can move it out. Achala is for the temples where you cannot move the murti by an inch also. So that is why you keep small murtis and you carry them very nicely wherever you're going. There's a way to carry them as well. Before you are going to move them, at least 1 week before, do a very good, elaborated Namitic pujan and tell them that Devta, I am going to this and this place. I would like you to come with me and return back with me so that I can worship you again. Because for deities who are mischievous such as Ganesha, he will go with you and he will get lost. So you won't be able to bring the murti. Or even with Gopal also, Laddu Gopal, you won't be able to bring it back if you don't take the permission. Somehow or the other, it will get lost. So you take the permission that I'm going to take you here. I'm going to so and so this place for this purpose. I will worship you there as well. And please come back with me to the same place. And if you are like absolutely unable to take it out, take them out of home, no issue. Uh, for Shaiva deities, uh, do some Bhasma Abhishekam. For Shivalinga, keep them in a rice bowl or a bowl covered in water. And for Devi, offer them a flower and just do some Sindhur Abhishekam on them. And they're good to go.
I can a lot to imbibe from what you said, Kaustav. Uh, now, I'm sorry, I'm jumping back to the previous topic, but I'm just taking a
No
page
issue.
from Prithvi's book. So, even Abhishekam, right? We
Mhm.
have so many of us worship now a lot of Devatas. Some of them are Abhisheka Priya, some of them are Alankara Priya, some of them are Stuti Priya. Now,
Mhm.
in the ritual,
Mhm.
how do you do Abhishekam, right? I mean, of course, you're of course pouring and all of that.
Mhm.
But how do you improve based on the devata? Like certain devatas would prefer certain substances
Mhm.
versus certain devatas who would have liking for some other substances. What
Mhm.
would be a preferable substance that you can do as a part of your Nitya sadhana? Number one. Number two is stuti or stotram. Do you chant it out loud or do you like japa
Mhm.
do as a whisper? That would be very helpful.
Okay. So there are rules actually for doing Abhishekam as well. For example, when you are doing Abhishekam of a male deity, always start from the head. When you're doing Abhishekam of a female deity, start from the leg up. That is the main difference of doing the Abhishekam for Murtis. And yes, for stutis and all those things, you are supposed to chant it out loud because they if I mean the devta always they are they like to be praised until and unless it is dakshinamurti who like silence. You are supposed to praise them out loud. It is actually said, I don't remember which Tantra text, it actually mentions that stutis and stotras, when they are said in mind, until and unless mentioned, they are useless. The only time you are supposed to do it is when you are with somebody and you don't want them to know, maybe you're doing some guhya sadhana. That time you can mumble, but silent never until and unless you are asked of it. Specifically, like in Dakshinamurti sadhanas. And another thing that you asked about adding, so I would say add something, uh, you know, may try Abhishekam with different things or Ashtagandha, because I don't exactly remember the order, but Ashtagandha of each deity is different technically. The ingredients becomes different. So based on your deity's preference, you make that kind of Ashtagandha and give it. They will love it. If you're making Ashtagandha at home, maybe it becomes a very tedious process. So in that sense, offer a bit of sandalwood every day, like one drop of sandalwood in the Abhishekam water, and then do it. It is equally good. uh, Give them like buy some Gangajal, add some few drops of Gangajal in the water of any deity. You then you give them any deity, in the sense it's not some, uh, okay, I will finish it and then come back to why I'm saying about any deity. uh, and other than that, what you can do is you can give some this sugar, or powdered jaggery. You can also do abhishekam with them. That is also allowed. Now, what I was saying about any deity, there have been many cases in the tantric things where people bring some deity into their home, maybe some murti or something, and it is actually not the deity who is taking the puja, it is some preta who is taking the puja. So the moment you do Ganga Jal Abhishek, all hell breaks loose, and you will be like, I only need Ganga Jal Abhishek, so why is Shiva punishing me? So, if something like that happens, you're supposed to contact a guru, not me. I don't deal with that stuff. I only keep information about those stuff. You're supposed to call some exorcist or some, some people who do paranormal investigations and are acharyas and something. They can fix it. But in general, you give some holy waters and you give some jaggery, abhishekam, and all those things, and uh, take care of the murti. That is very very important. For example, if you have a bronze murti, wipe it off with this coconut oil, make it shine. I actually got jealous once in Chidambaram. I saw they have these murtis and they're always shiny, and my murtis they go black more or less all the time. Only the face shines, everything else goes back. Then I figured out that they give ingredients which are, for example, this chandana, when they're giving it, they actually scrub the murti with the chandana. So that is why it keeps it shiny. So you can do this kind of stuff. For example, you do a 7 layer makeup, sorry, there's a facial cleansing, right? For Korean glass, Korean glass skins. So you can give the same treatment to your DT. Wash, like, drip them in coconut water, drip them in sandalwood oil, all these oils necessary, and give them a good scrub, and then you worship them. So you're actually connecting with them as well as taking care of the murti. That's how it works.
Sorry,
Prithvi,
Kaustav, I had to just check on my dog also because
no
I'm
issues.
alone. It just vanished suddenly. Yeah. So apologies for that. So dear viewers, I just wanted to confirm Prithvi. I just showed Prithvi and Kaustav off the screen. The reason that we both are, Prithvi and I are going out and coming on is because of power cuts, number one. Secondly, he is also in transit. I'm also shifting my home. So I apologize for that.
No
Yes,
issues.
Prithvi.
What I was saying is, Kastubai, most of us we feel this that the vigrahams. How do we maintain the vigrahams? And I specifically had this doubt: should I, how do I wash them? Should I give them bath or do abhishekam? What should I add specific things to abhishekam so that they don't get due to all those process they get black in color. So I think that'll this your tips will really help us out. in maintaining the Vigrahams shiny. We'll do that.
Kaustav bhai, I see that initially we had planned it to be a 1 hour conversation, but I'm just
Sure.
loving it. Just take the time. I hope you have some more
Yeah,
time to take.
yeah, I have a lot of time. Don't worry.
So one of the
Uh,
questions we also noticed was on your post about consecration of newer devatas such as Linga
mhm.
Bhairavi and others. So what is your thought on that?
Okay, so my thought is going to be very, very esoteric and erratic, maybe for some people who are very traditional. Because I would start out with saying that there exists archetypes and thought forms in the astral domain who intend to come back on this plane to take puja and grow powerful. Okay, that is why in many religions you will see that there has been akashvani and all those stuff, heading from the clouds. You listen. Uh, so yes, these kind of deities come now. Things such as deities, not things, I'm sorry, deities such as Linga Bhairavi, they are extremely powerful, and a yogi can actually create. If you relate, in the start of the session, I talked about thought forms, right? So this is what Linga Bhairavi comes from, a mental thought form that is manifested directly as a deity for common public. These kind of deities, they exist across all cultures, and it takes a very enlightened human being, a very high caliber yogi like Sadhguru, to bring these kind of things. Traditional people, they will always, of course, say that, oh, it's not in the text. But how much text have you actually read? That is the main question. Uh, in a way, if you see Yoga Vasishtha and Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, there are multiple forms of meditation, and it actually speaks of manifestation at certain levels. Now, for people who are ultra traditional, they will say, where does it speak of the word manifestation? So, just to clarify your doubt, in school we all start with ABCD. By the time we reach our college, we start writing thesis. We learn grammar and we create words out of the same alphabets. So Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Yoga Vasishtha, Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, they are all alphabets. Once you know them, once you understand them, you can create a lot of things out of them. So that is how yoga can create deities out of astral world and from meditations, and they're absolutely valid. One of the main things, deities that got prevalent was this Santoshima. Nowhere in the text she is mentioned, but she still came. Then, for example, there are Bamani Mata and other various kinds of Shudra deities that are used for Ojha and exorcism and all those things. They are nowhere mentioned in the Tantra, but still these deities exist. Any entity, apart, I'm not talking about Linga Bhairavi right now, but any entity also, if they are uh, a person, okay, I will get it more clarified. Say, uh, oh, there's a woman who is pregnant, about to give birth. She dies. As per Tantra, what yoni will she go into? She is unsatisfied. She will become a churel, right? Technically. Now, can you worship a churel? No. We are all afraid of it. However, there exists temple in India itself. I have seen myself with my own eyes. I have been there at the till the gates also. Churel Mata temple. You can search it up on Gujarat things also. A Churel is being worshipped as a deity. Now, is it wrong? Not at all wrong. It is still allowed. Why is it allowed? Uh, Devi Kali, Mahakali. Okay, she has her Jaya Vijaya. Like Vishnu has Jaya Vijay, she has Jaya Vijaya, and there are Dakini, Shakini, Hakinis all under her, in the hierarchy. Apart from the Kshetrapalas, whenever somebody dies a very gruesome death and they enter into the Preta Yoni, they first report into the Kshetrapala division. Just like as in, you go into for admission for a college, go to the reception counter. So Kshetrapala is that person. He will be doing the admissions and dominating everybody. Then, based on that, if suppose that lady, pregnant lady who died, she had done some kind of very good sadhana, she was very devout, she will obviously have that kind of samskaras in her manomaya kosha, because her this physical sheath is dead, but the vijnanamaya and all those koshas are still there, so she will retain the samskaras. So if she helps somebody and they do puja on behalf of her, she will stay there and she will help. That is how a new deity is being formed, and that is why that is worshipping even a churel or a preta is absolutely allowed technically. However, if you are into yoga or if you are into very high level of sadhana and you do a lot of Hanuman Chalisa and all those things, please do not enter such kind of temples. You will be directly attacked. Those kind of temples are only for the people who are not into hardcore sadhanas. Now, hardcore sadhana means you are doing it daily after years. You do Hanuman Chalisa once in a week, that is not hardcore Chalisa. Hardcore sadhana, okay? So you do it regularly where you know where you are a good sadhaka, then don't enter. Let those entities be, but respect them. In Gujarat, I came across another temple, Mamadev. He is said to be a very friendly ghost, and occasionally it is still said that you can, find him asking for cigarettes to people. He's a very good preta, and he apparently has now been raised to the level of a Kshetrapalaka. So that is how you respect, you offer them respect, and they will protect you. Similarly, uh, there are many uh, for example, there are many people in specifically in central India. What they do is they do not give tarpanam to their pitru. What they do is after some grandfather or somebody dies, they will do some anushthan and bring that same soul into their puja place. They will have a shivalinga. They will put that prana shakti in the puja place of the shivalinga and worship them. Everybody else who sees, who they will say it is they are worshiping a shivalinga, a great Shiva devotee, but actually they are worshiping their forefathers, they are worshiping a preta. And that is how you create new devatas slowly. So if that same so for example, he gets rich or something, he makes a temple, he creates a good shivalinga, he takes this whole energy, puts it in that temple. People will be like, oh, we have a Jagrit Shiva temple. No, you're worshipping a preta. It is not Shiva directly who is helping you. So but in case of Sadguru, Linga Bhairavi, I would say, is a fabulous thing. And like Buddhists create tulpa, he also created something on those lines, but something that we have never imagined or even seen before. So that is why we are in awe and shock. But Linga Bhairavi is perfectly conscious. She is a very intense deity. I mean, I did some meditation on her at the Akashic level, and so I came to know actually. I didn't actually personally visit her, but I did something. She responds very good. So if you are a devotee of Linga Bhairavi or of Sadguru, please feel free. He's a genuine person, genuine yogi actually, and these things exist. If you want to know how these are created, like I said, read Yoga Vasishtha, read Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, do some ponderings and philosophy on it. You will understand how these forms are created.
So, as a fellow advocate, I just appreciate the way you're laying down your arguments with evidence, citations, if I may. Kaustav bhai, just a couple of topics before we head to the questions. Questions, of course, will follow the same format that you did last time. We have quite a few questions, rapid fire style, right? So,
Sure.
one thing that is again this topic that I'm going to present to you is something that you talk about regularly on your timeline as well. But I'm hoping for consolidated uh,
Mhm.
outcome. So,
Mhm.
what would be the daily habits that you say a sadhaka must follow? Why I'm saying that is a couple of things. You had mentioned about lighting a deepa. If you don't know who your
Mhm.
Kuladevata is, for example, light a diya daily and pray to the devatas to show you your Kuladevata. Another thing that all of us have incorporated is wash the feet once you come from outside. So, like
Mhm.
this, what are the some do's and don'ts, a dharmic toolkit, if you may.
Okay. So first thing would be when you wake up, don't rush for bathroom, don't rush for coffee. Wake up, sit, take 5 deep breaths. Let your consciousness be aware. Even if you're in tantra, yoga, aghora, koala, doesn't matter. Just do it. Take 5 deep slow breaths. Let your pranic shakti recharge. Before you step onto the ground, touch the ground and thank the Bhumi Devta. Thank them for letting you exist on this planet, on this earth. That is the most important thing. You do that, then you step down from the bed. That there are many other things, but I don't think everybody will be able to follow that, so I'm keeping it very concise. Then you do that. After that, then you go, you brush your teeth and all those things. Before taking your breakfast, light a deepam. After that, you go take your breakfast. Now, if you have some time, then you do at least one small stotra. There are many stotra, like like 5, 6, 7 lines. You do take a bath before going to office, before going out of your home. Keep it up, and it's a very helpful habit. It has helped me a lot. Before you go out of your home, light a agarbatti, if not a deepam, and say, Devta, I'm going out. I will come back and do your puja. Please protect me while I'm out. Make my day good. It's a very good exercise, and the deity will follow you. And if you're staying alone, request them, request your Griha Devta to keep your home safe so that no how home fires or no theft or nothing like that happens. When you come back, as you open the door, touch your door and say thank you for letting me inside because there are other deities on your door or the Dwarapalas. When you enter the door, if you are alone, chant out aloud, chant out the name of your Ishtadevta and say, I am home. For example, I do it. Like when my wife is out and all those things, I come in and say, okay, Durga Ma, I am here. Thank you. That's how I do it. Now, if there are other people in your place, what you do? You just mentally say, thank you for letting me home. Then you go first and wash your feet, wash your hands because the karmic things are here. Everything you carry from outside, they're mostly sticking here. Wash it, wash your face, go back to a sadhana place, say thank you, I'm home. I will just have dinner, do this, do that, and inform them that you're going to come back and do the sadhana. This is how you do. It's not a proper shastric method, but from the yogic perspective, you're at least connecting and you're remembering your deity. Apart from that, whenever you are taking breaks in your office or anything, mentally bow down to your deity. Okay, that I'm going for a break. Thank you. I had this thing. Thank you. So eventually, you're developing the attitude of gratitude, and as well as you are remembering them. It does not matter how you remember. At least you are remembering them, and that is what matters for a sadhaka. Slowly, over time, within 5 to 6 months, when it becomes a subconscious habit, you will see a tremendous positive change in your life from your sadhana as well as from your financial standpoint as well.
That's brilliant, Kaustav bhai. The way you, in couple of minutes, you laid down a beautiful schedule as well. Last topic, there are so many topics to cover, so I'm taking the liberty to invite you again for the future topics. So I've
Sure.
preemptively kept some of my topics aside. You recently traveled to multiple places, and you also had the blessing to offer Bali to Matara. You also had the blessing to see a few asanas that you had posted on your social media, and you also mentioned about um, meeting an enlightened yogi or enlightened person who used to be a drunkard. And of course, your musings on the book Tantrabhliashir Sadhusanga. If you could just present what has been happening in your life in the last few months, I'd be glad to hear.
Okay. So, inspiring anecdotes would be I recently had been to Bengal and it was an absolute fabulous journey. I didn't expect it would turn out the way it would because I met a lot of, I would say enlightened actually people. And I was like, I'm still actually processing that Shakti that I got from them. And they were so down to earth and but intense at the same time. And one of the things that I noticed actually is that uh, people say that there is no chance of finding a guru or chance of finding a good sadhaka, but they still exist. You just have to have that kripa of the Devi or any deity you want, and you will find it. I would say a very interesting anecdote that happened with a relative of mine. I met that person after a long time in December, and he was searching for a guru. So I said him, what kind of guru do you want? He was like, I want to have tantra diksha, and I saw that he was like somewhat capable. So I said, okay, fine. I gave him a basic uh, this uh, this tantra diksha, sorry, tantra mantra of Ganesha, not a diksha. Sorry, I'm correcting myself. I'm not a guru. I don't give diksha. Just for the record. So I gave him this mantra. I said, do it.
This is
Do
before
for
your
like 1 lakh.
timeline blows up.
Yeah, I don't give diksha. Again, I'm repeating. I'm not an acharya even. So I just gave him that mantra. I said, do this 1 lakh times with the sankalpa that you find a guru. And he completed that Ganesha mantra, and he went to Matara's temple. And he was like actually very sad that I have completed and all these things, but I still didn't get it. So a person walks up to him and he's like, why are you sad? He's like, I did that, and I need a guru, but I am unable to find. He's like, you know what, meet me at this and this place later in the evening. So he goes there, and it turns out this guy is in the lineage of Bama Kheba. And he is like, do you want to take diksha? He's like, hell yes, I want to take a diksha right now. I want a diksha. He didn't charge a single penny. He gave the diksha. After giving the diksha and all, when he started talking casually, then he came to know this by this relative's father. He had also taken diksha in the same lineage, and his grandfather had also taken diksha in the same lineage. So just by doing a simple Ganesha mantra, all the lineage got connected, father, son, and disciple ones. So that is how stuff works. So if you are, so it was one of the mind blowing, insights that I have, that if you are aligned and if you are like clearing out your karmic things, and Vinayak, obviously, he's the one who creates obstacles. If you appease him, things are bound to fall in place, and eventually everything will be fine. Just have faith and surrender. Everything will fall into your place eventually, no matter what happens. And this panchamundi asanas and all, they do exist in Bengal. I would say don't venture out if you are not having permission, explicit permission from your guru, because these expedite the karmic account so much that what bad things could have happened to you in next 5 years would happen to you in next 5 days together. So if you're not protected, it's going to be an absolute disaster for in your life. You won't know what happened, because one of the panchamundi asanas I saw, uh, all the masonries who worked on it, each every one of them died out of lightning because their karmic things were expedited. So again, these things exist. Do not, challenge or do not be adventurous. Take permission from your guru. Do not get overconfident. Even if you're confident, double check with your guru and then go and visit all these places. Till then, you can, just do a sadhana and ask Ma if she understands you are ready. Because I didn't ask to visit. I didn't have any intention. I didn't even know they existed. If she sees you are ready, she will make a way. You will end up in the same places, and you will get the full shakti of it, and your life will skyrocket from the sadhana wise. So these were the anecdotes that I had recently.
Yeah, thank you, Kaustav Bhai. Both very powerful experiences. Prithvi, if you have anything to ask here,
Yeah.
you can please ask.
I'm actually spellbound with the by the way he told that connection of Ganapati, and then
Yeah,
oh my God, it's too good. Thanks for
Bama
telling this.
Kebhar's
Yeah,
And
Bamdev's
this incident happened in
lineage.
2025 February.
Oh, very
So deities
recent.
are actually working as we speak.
why this is connecting more for me is when I met Anirudh, he explained to me about Ganapati sadhana, and then recently on Ram Brothers guidance, we I just finished Ganapati Anushthan,
Oh, nice,
and
nice.
you are telling this experience. So it's all like connecting dots for me, and it's so good.
And that person, that master, I said he stays around Ramchandra sir itself.
So, Kaustav bhai, then with your permission, let's get into the questions quickly.
Yes, please.
So, any question that you do not want to answer, we can move to the next one.
Okay, sure.
You did cover a little bit about this when Prithvi asked you, but do you have any visualization exercise for cleansing a space?
Yes, there are, but you will need actual guidance, and you need to be in the yogic lineage, because the moment you challenge them deliberately, they will try to harm you back. So until unless you are protected, they will damage you. All this thing, I see all these things on Facebook. This manifestation guidance and akashic readings. I would declare it openly with full authority as a yogi. Do not try them until and unless you are in a yoga diksha. Akashic things, even tarot, because you're connecting your consciousness and all those things. It will backfire very badly one day. So do not. The only visual exercise for safekeep, I would say, is take a bay leaf and burn it in your home every day, or every alternate day, or every 10 days. So that would reduce it. And methods to increasing manifestation energy. Okay, meditation. If you are not good at meditation, you will not be able to manifest. And to get good at manifestation, you need to do meditation for at least 40 minutes, at least for 5 to 6 years. Then you reach that level where you can manifest. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. Nothing else will work.
You are giving us a lot to digest before going to the next. How to worship Hanumanji properly, as it is very tough to keep brahmacharya? How to worship Kuladevi if they don't have a temple? And Costa, just to add to that, for those who are aware of their Kuladevatas, where the temples are, what can you do as part of Nitya?
Okay. So, how to worship Hanumanji? Okay, you do not need to be celibate at all. Uh, I would say maintain your brahmacharya for at least like 1 week, and then you can, for a specific period, or on tithis that he likes, for example, Tuesday and Saturdays, rest. Mandatory celibacy is not compulsory until and unless your guru says, because there are also forms of Hanuman, Bhakta Hanuman, Veer Hanuman, Panchamukhi, Ashtamukhi, Dwadashmukhi, all these things. So it depends on which kind of Hanuman form you are worshipping, and brahmacharya is not at all compulsory. And Harshavan culture Kuldevi. Okay, so if you don't have a temple of Kuldevi, don't worry. Take a lamp, go to some burger tree, people tree, and in not in the evening, on Saturdays or on Tuesdays or any days you want other than Sunday, and you put it there and say, "I'm lighting this on behalf of my Kuladevta or Kuldevi, may wherever they be, please let them connect with me." And the logic behind this is, Bargat is known as the king of the trees, because in Bhagavad Gita, I guess Shri Krishna says that among the trees I am this. So that is how it works. So you go and pray to them. Wherever your Kuldevta is, they will respond back to you. Other than that, on every Shukla Paksha Purnima, Purnima and Amavasya, and Shukla Paksha Chaturdashi and Ashtami, light a ghee deepam on with the intent that this specific deepam is only for my Kulat Devi, and it will work. She will connect you somehow or the other. Interestingly, in this time, Nirul, like you know, right? I was searching for my Kuldevta since like so many years on Facebook.
Hmm.
It has been like 7 8 years. This time I could actually visit her temple, and I got around 3 or 4 dhyana mantras of her out of the blue from some text. Can you imagine? So maybe finally she has accepted me, my Guru Devta. So that is how it works. You persist and persist and persist. You show them reverence, they will connect you back, because they are equally looking forward to connect with you for getting Shakti as much as you are looking forward to get the blessings. Why I'm saying this? Because in Bhagavad Gita again, Shri Krishna says the Devatas will be fed by the Havans and the Yagnas we do. So same concept. You give them Shakti, they give you blessings in turn.
How to know the difference between symptoms of awakening and proper Jagran? Whether Shanti part is considered actually Shakti part, whether Shakti part is
Shakti.
considered a complete Jagran.
Uh, that I won't say. I won't actually say, because these are like very high level yogic stuff, and I know them, yes, but I'm not authorized yet to discuss on them. And no, Shaktipat is not a complete Jagran, and Kundalini, even if Jagrat, it will not stay high. It depends on your Shakti and some specific things when it goes up and down. So that's all I would say. Rest, Guru would be able to better say that because it's like in the lineage stuff and all those things.
So, Kaustubha, you did touch upon this in your last anecdotes segment, but in case you want to share anything else, you please feel free.
Okay, I would not say my experiences. Okay, because like I just say it generally, you're not supposed to say it openly out loud in public because the deity might get offended. But yes, Patrata does determine the experience in the Kshetra. For example, if I am a hardcore Shakta and I visit a Vishnu Kshetra, now see it in our level, earthly level, you are, or not you, say me. I am a class 1 student, maybe, and I am going to another section D. Now I am a very bright student of class 1 section A. So the teacher who is in class 1 section D, she will obviously give me attention because I am a bright student at the same level. Same way in the Kshetras. If you are worshipping any deity and you go to any other Kshetra, the deities will welcome you with open arms. Ki finally, there is some kid who understands us and reverses us. So, for example, basically, you have need to be a good boy or a good girl, and every uncle and auntie will love you. If you throw tantrums, they will also
Mhm.
ignore you. That's the basic idea of it.
That's so sweet. Yes, so you mentioned about sadhana phala stealing by some entities, and the sadhaka remain at the same state. How to protect sadhana phala?
Okay, how to protect sadhana phala is first is do regular kavachams. Do a puruscharana of a kavacham. I don't think many people have said about it, but the way we do mantra puruscharana, kavacha and stotra puruscharana also happens, but the rules are somewhat different. For example, there are certain stotras wherein you do 11,000 times the entire stotra and the Purusharana is considered to be done. So, in that way, other than that, you do some kilan and you foremost appease your pitrus, do proper pitru puja every year, and you have some good mentor and you keep your home clean and whenever you suspect that somebody is in your home who intends to take away your sadhana phala and all these things, the moment they leave out your home, no matter what the time, give a good sweep in your entire home and collect the dust, put in a paper, put some kerosene and burn it. That is the first line of defense. Because in yoga as well as tantra, if I can get we say na the charandhul, that dust of the feet, lot of things can be done with that same dust of the feet, from Vashikaran to Maran to stealing energies. From your shoe dust, it can be done. That is one of the reasons people say don't wear shoes and enter my home. Because if you wear shoes and enter their home, they will get those dust. Those are the some few things that you can do to protect. Rest in your lineage and all those things, they will tell you. That is why you actually needed Diksha. People will be like, he always diverts it to some guru. Okay, how does one know the parties to
Um,
yoga tantra? If one is ready. Okay, uh, you will never know if it is through yoga or tantra. You just start. Like I said, yoga and tantra are same sides of the both coin. Both mingle deeply with kundalini energy and all those things. So either or. It's like, for example, uh, Anirudh is a lawyer and I am a lawyer. Okay, so Anirudh, maybe he studied contract law in the first year. I studied it maybe in the second year, but we both studied contract law. That is the core. We know the corporate laws. So maybe the semester will differ, the subjects will differ, but the core thing will be the same. So yoga or tantra, if you are good at one thing, you will are bound to be good at the other thing. So, for example, Anirudh may go as a lawyer. He may go into uh, say arbitration specifically, and I may go into core criminal cases. But we both are lawyers, and ultimately we both can manipulate law in the courtroom. So that is how it works. Yoga and tantra both are same.
Kaustubh,
And
if
if
you
you're
could
working, you
share
will get
some,
it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry. I could you just share that I
Now, I
interrupted.
say that if you're worthy, some guru will come up. Just you need to search. You cannot sit and say that guru, guru, guru. Guru, you need to find out. Okay, premonitionary insights gained from dreams. Okay, premonitionary insights, they do happen as per Shastras. They are supposed to happen during the Brahma Muhurta when the astral plane and the human physical plane are very closer. However, uh, there is entire Swapna Shastra based on it, and you will need to study that text actually. Only then you can say, because like I can keep going on and on, but no two dreams generally are the same, and no two interpretations will be the same. So you need to study and then interpret it.
Is sadhana and total surrender correlatable? To whom we must seek guidance from first? Ishtadevata, Kuladevata, Paradevata, or Grama Devata?
Hmm. Okay. So Grama Devata is the one who will ensure that where you are staying safe. Okay. Kula Devata will ensure that your family is good, your financial conditions are good, and your lineage is growing. Ishta Devta is the one who will ensure that your sadhana is going well, you are well protected at a personal level. Paradevta, out of reach, almost always. I'm not belittling anyone, but even for me, Paradevta of like Paradurga, Mahashakti Durga, all are out of reach. Do not go to Paradevta. Appease your Grama Devta for your well being and your societal fame. Kula Devta for your lineage and your financial issues. Ishta Devta for your financial issues and your spiritual progress and personal level protection. And sadhana and total surrender to duty is, of course, yes, correlatable, because if you're not surrendering 100%, it won't work no matter what. And only if you surrender, you go into sharanagati in any path, only then the kundalini rises and all those things happen. And again, just a very controversial thing, if the kundalini has not risen, maybe you should check after, because there are things that you won't gain access to, and you might not progress if your kundalini is not opened. So it is a must thing.
So, Vishnu, when you ask what types of mantras you can chant, Kaustubhai mentioned Sahasranama is a good uh, thing, good place to start with, right, Kaustubhai? If you
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because mantras can be Adi mantras, Vadi mantras, Mitra mantras, and all those things. There are like different kinds of charts and different kinds of bijas that need to be given also. And maybe you, like I said, maybe in Bharani Nakshatra you take up Shiva Japa, you will go to hell. Like your life will become hell, and then you will go to hell basically. But if you take up Rama Japa, luckily you're good. Or maybe say for in your horoscope, in your Ashtam Sthan, there is a Marak or a Marak Graha, and you take on a day, for example, there is Mangal in Nicha Bhava that will cause you accident. And on a Tuesday, on that same nakshatra, you take up a mantra, no matter how wholeheartedly, it will give you accidents always. So it depends when you take in all those things. So it's very complicated. So Sahasranam, Stotram, all those are good. Kavacham is also good.
so Kaustubhai, just two, three more questions, and then
Yeah, sure, sure.
yes. So many times during a Devata Anushtana, suddenly I'm expected to travel out of city. Will the Anushtana be considered broken due to travel?
Uh, if you are doing it wherever you are going, it will not be considered broken. However, if you stop doing it, it will be considered broken. My situation has been, I have done my japa in train, I have done my japa in flight and in bus as well. So the main thing is you are doing it, and jad jaise jadachara, devta will allow it depending on their mood. But as a human, our job is to ensure we can say to Devta, hey, I do it every day at 9 p.m. Today also I did it at 9 p.m. Rest is up to you. Because maybe you did three Purush Charanas, Devta will be like, I don't care like this guy, I will not give them anything. And maybe you did only 100 malas sincerely, they will unlock everything for you. So the one of the things is to connect with the Devta and the Devta Priti. So if he likes you, he will break all rules, or she will break all rules. If they don't, nothing will work.
So Kaustubhai, so how for Kavach for Sadhak, Vishnu Kaustubhai did mention that you can take up some Kavach and do multiple chanting of it. But what can we do in case of being harassed by spirits? A quick remedy.
Okay, so spirits, huh? First of all, seek guidance from very senior. Don't ping me, please. I do not deal with spirits, but there are many people who do. And the first thing you would do is do kavacham, clean your home, clean, very clean. Burn bay leaves in all the rooms of home. Take some shanti jal, and those vibhuti we get from all those temples. That is how it works here. You take mix some water and spread in all the corners of your home, and but be mentally prepared. The time you start to do it, there will be heavy retaliation. So if you see that there's some heavy retaliation, take up a sankalp of doing any stotra that you deem fit. Go to some Shiva temple or Devi temple, sit there and do the stotra. Sit there and do the stotra for 40 days. Come back to your home and uh, sprinkle the water or something. Then it will get affected. But I would personally say don't take risks until and unless you have somebody telling you what to do. It gets very, very dangerous at times.
Last two questions for today, this session. Kaustav, how effective are astrological remedies?
Astrological remedies are 70 to 80%. However, they depend on where it is being done, how it is being done, and at what situations are they being done. For example, if I say that I have a Pitru dosha, okay, and I am not taking care of my father, Pitru dosh puja won't work at all. Or say if I do a Pitru dosha puja in say some city like Delhi, that is not a Siddha Kshetra, but so the efficacy may go down because of a single thing. Or say for astrological remedy, I still remember one of my friends for astrological remedy. He was said for 2 years stand in the kitchen, face south, and eat your dinner for 2 years. So these kind of astrological remedies, obviously, they're bogus. They don't work. However, uh, as a general astrological remedy, I would say do the Navagraha Stotram. It will balance out all the grahas more or less. And astrological remedies, yes, they do work 70 to 80%, depending on what sthiti you are on and what your life circumstances are. Because sometimes the Mahavidya, specifically the higher level gods, they can change any planetary position no matter what. So if you appease them, everything will go fine. But yes, astrological remedies do work depending on who is doing and why, what is the purpose.
So we're ending with this question on Bhagavati's beautiful 32 names. Kaustav Bhai, could you please share the significance of the 32 names of Ma Durga?
uh 32 names of Madurga. Okay, as per my experience, the 32 names are one of the best anushtans you can ever do in your life. It works in a way that it protects you not only from your internal enemies but as well as from your external enemies as well. See, the point to understand is, if Durga is a deity who is martial, why do we have 32 names or even Sahasranama for her? Each name that she has, she will invoke a certain quality, and uh, that aspect or that form of deity based on that mood will check with your situation. For example, if say Durga is being named as Shantipriya and you're looking as Shanti, that point in life, that Shanti Priya aspect will come into play and she will bless you with that. There are various anushtans such as Chakra Pujan, and all these things are also done with this. Not the tantric ones, but the rotational basis. There is some technique that is done for the stotras. But yes, 32 names are super awesome. And I would say, if you really are looking forward to seeing some practical experience for it, take a sankalp of 41 days, and every day after 11 p.m., sit on a red asan, uh, burn some incense, not sandalwood, burn this rose incense, and do it 11 times each daily. You will get some super effect, and it's applicable for anyone. And this is the best thing about stotra: anybody can do it until and unless the fella says one cannot do it. Anybody can do it basically.
Thank you, Kaustav Bhai, for
Thank you.
joining us today. We're also carrying forward a few topics for next time because there's a lot for me. to definitely digest, and I'm also sure Prithvi also. I can say that you have shared a lot. We're definitely going to have a post podcast conversation on this, just digesting whatever you have shared. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for um, guiding all of us uh, in your inimitable way. Hoping to have you back very soon.
Sure,
Jai Bhavani.
sure, sure, sure. 100%.